Hi my loves, welcome to a new reading vlog, a very exciting reading vlog. I am so excited to finally do this because I am finally reading House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas, Crescent City Book 2 from the Crescent City series. I am so excited. I have had this book since the 15th of February. I have been sitting on this book for over a week. I have been so wanting to read this book, but I had so many books that I was in the middle of reading. I was doing a read along and I knew full well I couldn't read this as well because there's no way I would be able to focus on anything else. It would have to be this and nothing else. So I was like, I am going to leave it until it's half term because my daughter's at her dad's for the whole week, and I would use that week to read it and vlog. Now, we're on Friday, it's the 25th of February, and I finally finished the books I needed to finish to make room for this bad boy. And we're finally doing it. So including today, I have 4 days to read it. Enough time, to be fair. Will I need to read it in 4 days? I honestly think this might take me 2 days. Like, knowing what I was like in Crescent City 1, I flew through it. There is no way I'm going to be distracted by this book. I am going to probably just lock myself in a room. More than likely, I'm just going to starve myself. I'm going to not go to the toilet. I am just literally going to read. I'm not actually going to do that. I'm not going to starve myself. I'm not going to pee myself. I will make room for that, guys. I am just joking. But yeah, we're finally reading this. I am so excited. I have literally stopped going on Bookstagram. I've literally scrolled through booktubers videos because a lot have done vlogs, even ones who have done spoiler free vlogs. I have refused to watch them because I didn't want to hear certain things that may not be spoilers, but it's still to do with the book. I didn't want to spoil anything for me. I want to read this like it's the first time ever, which it will be. So I have limited my Bookstagram sort of use. I very rarely looked on BookTube when it's stuff to do with this. I've been watching other things, but there is not many videos up because so many people have done vlogs for this. But finally, I can read it, I can vlog it. I am so excited. Now, originally I was going to do this vlog as a spoiler free and then do a spoiler ending so people could watch so far and then not watch the ending. But I know me, there is no way I am not going to vlog my whole experience. I'm going to vlog as much as I can. Editing me is going to hate me, but who cares? And I just know full well there's no way I'm going to be able to hold off saying spoilery things. Like, I know full well I'm going to want to talk about everything. So this is going to be a spoiler vlog. So if you haven't read this book and you're planning to, don't watch this. If you're not bothered by this book, then you can watch it. But I can honestly say if you watch this and then you want to watch read the book, then sorry. But this is going to be a spoilery vlog, so this is your warning right now that if you haven't read it, or you're planning to read it, or you will read it at some point in your life, do not watch this vlog. Or if you do want to watch it, that's your choice, but I've given you your warning. If you're not bothered by this book and you just want to watch it and you don't care for this book, then fine, carry on watching this vlog if you want to. Though I slightly hate you because how dare you not like Crescent City? I'm joking. Kind of. But yeah, we're going to be reading this and I am going to spend as much as I can in the next 4 days to read this. I'm giving myself 4 days to read. I am not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. My parents have gone out. They wanted me to come out. I was like, nah, I'm reading this. I'm sorry. This is important. I have been holding off this long. I can't do it anymore. I also have 2 copies of this book. I have, as you can see just there's a copy there. That was actually my Amazon copy. I didn't realise that I hadn't cancelled my Amazon copy. I wanted the Waterstones one because it's got like the bonus chapter, and I was just like, oh, I want it. And I know other different bookstores have different bonus chapters, so they're not all the same. But half of those bookstores I don't have here, so you know. But I forgot that I already pre-ordered on Amazon, so that actually came dead on release date, which was good because I did a story of like I did a little reel thinking I got book mail, is this, woo! But the actual dust jacket was ripped and I didn't like that, so I ended up taking the dust jacket off. I've got it where my book, what are they called, my book sleeves are, and I've put it just as a naked thing, so I thought, oh, I can have it like that, and then when I've read this book I'm going to do Crescent City 1 and Crescent City 2 so you can see this, because stunning artwork. Like obviously I think the book 1 had probably Bryce on it, this is Hunt, gorgeous. But yeah, so there's me saying I never want to duplicate books. She has, and she probably will have. To be fair, I would happily duplicate every single Sarah J Maas book, in my opinion. Like I would happily have different copies of all of the series I've got, like Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, Crescent City. yeah, maybe one day I might do that. But anyway, moving on, we are going to read lists. We're going to do it. It's going to be spoilery. It probably will be a long video. I am going to try and do it so it's under an hour, or if not, I will do it probably over an hour a little bit, but I do not want to do anything over an hour, so hopefully I can reduce that. We'll see, but I will apologise now. It might be a long vlog, but I literally am going to vlog my whole experience. I am prepared to have my heart broken because here's the thing, guys. When I reread Crescent City at the beginning of this month, no joke, I bawled my eyes out. Even though it's a reread, I read it before, I was emotional first time round, wasn't expecting to be emotional second time round. I was even worse than I was first time round. My heart broke. I was a blubbering mess. My parents were like, what the hell's wrong with you? Because I was doing it in the lounge and I just broke down. And I was like, how can a book that I read second time round break me even more than a first time round? I don't get it. I was like this with Akata as well. When I read Akata and Akamath, the first two books, I cried. Even though I knew what was going on, it's a secondary read, I was a blubbering mess. So I am prepared to have my heart torn out and broken and stamped on and shoved back in and then taken out and repeating the whole process, but we're here for it. So with further ado, get a coffee or tea or whatever hot drink of your choice you want, get a snuggly blanket and chill back and relax, because this is going to be a whirlwind. This is going to be an emotional whirlwind. This is going to be this is going to be a long vlog, but it is so worth it. So further ado, let's get straight into reading this bad boy. It's 805 pages long story-wise, but including the bonus chapters, 820 pages. So is this the biggest book I've read? It is for this year. Don't know whether it's the biggest book I've ever read in all my reading life, but we are so excited. Stunning. Stunning. Anyway, let's get to reading. So I will catch up with you when I've read about 50, maybe 100 pages, so I can give you like a brief outline. But yeah, I'm very excited. Let's get on to the vlog. Firstly, I should probably just keep my phone on like all the way through this vlog to film my reactions, because I just got to this moment and I just shouted quite a few words. But I'm on page 61. Yeah, I know, I haven't read much. We're not going there. I'm on page 61, and this fey cocky son of a son party crash runs party. He's just announced to Bryce that he's her cousin, and yeah, and now he has just announced, wait for it guys, just wait for it, he has announced that Bryce is his bride. Bryce's asshole of a fey father, who is the Autumn King, technically she's higher up than him by a decimal because of her power, but we're not going to go there. Yeah, her real father, the Autumn King, and Cormac's High King of the Avon Fae have betrayed them. They've decided that they're going to get married. No, guys, no, we are not having this in the book. Bryce and Hunt, that's all we're having. We are not having Cormac. We're not having a stupid cocky fae. No, honestly, I cannot cope with this. We're already at the point where Bryce and Hunt are on a 4-month sort of, they're more than friends, but they're not physically more than friends. So basically they're sort of a couple, but they're not intimate, because I think basically Bryce just wants to get to know him better now. Things have sort of gone back to normal. They've got a lot of shit to deal with Hunt no longer being a slave anymore, and Bryce pretty much learning who she truly is and like the powers that she's got, because she's obviously got the horn on her back. She's also got the star power thing, like she's the, oh god, I can't remember. Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh guys, no, we don't have this, okay? We are not having a cousin, firstly. Like, isn't that a little bit inbred? Like, I know they're not blood, but they are, no, just no. I want Hunt and Bryce. I want Hunt and Bryce to give up this 4-month ban sort of thing and just get it on, because clearly they want to get it on, so why aren't they? I understand why, but it's just been a bit silly. Anyway, Sarah J. Maas just knows how to piss you off. She knows how to piss you off. We're 61 pages in, and already I'm like, no, don't do this to me. Do not, like, already break my heart and tell me that this relationship is doomed from the start when it's not even happened. Can you tell that I'm already knocked off by this? Oh, no. Anyway, I'm carrying on. Bloody book. Hello. So I've reached over the 100-page mark, so I thought I would give you a little bit of a reading update. I'm kind of just going to do this in like sort of points, because there's like a lot going on. So I'm on, where am I? Yeah, chapter 10, page 109 of House of Sky and Breath. I'm going to use this though, because you can see the photo. House of Sky and Breath. But we know what we're talking about, so I'm not going to hold it. So basically, we're just going to go pointers of what's gone on through those 109 pages. So basically, we have a very long prologue, which at first was like, okay, what's this prologue got to do with the book? Like, obviously, it's important, because knowing what Sarah J. Maas does, you know. So basically, in the prologue, we meet a character called Sophia, and it turns out that she is... I need to double check what... Hang on. But basically, she's got a rare supernatural being. So she is a... Bear with. Well, she's a rare thing, basically. So she's got... Oh, right, so... Okay, so she was a human, and she had some sort of powers in her, so her human parents told her to make the drop. And she is the first human who ever made a drop and didn't die. So she's immortal and all that, and she's now become a veneer, which I'm not 100% sure what that is. But basically her grandmother has a very rare power, and so her grandmother was this thunderbird, and that is what Sophia is. And basically Sophia is family and grandparents as well got brutally murdered, very similar in some sense to how Bryce and Danica, like not obviously by the same thing, like same murderer, like it wasn't Mika and all that, but it was like a government sort of thing. Basically she managed to, so these direwolves basically are like, they're like these sort of like rebel governor sort of things. There's a lot going on, I can't be bothered to explain that, but basically she's working for them to basically glean information out of them to find out where her only living relative is, which is her brother. But she's also told them, you need to let me find my brother, because he will become handy to you guys, because he's got very similar powers to her. I'm not 100% sure whether he's a Thunderbird too, or whether he's like, I think she's got that rare ability where she's a Thunderbird, but I think her and her brother have got these veneer sort of abilities. Not 100% sure what exactly they are, but they sound awesome and they are rare. So basically, Lay ends up telling her where she is, and they let her go and basically get him out of this, like, slave camp sort of thing. And he said he wasn't going to go without these children, so there was, like, 13 other children. Anyway, she also then, to make sure Lay didn't, like, the people she works for won't double-cross her the minute she gets her brother and all of that, she's told them that she's got some information about the Hysteria that will really help them, but she's not going to give them any of that information until her and her brother are safe. And, you know, they're not going to do shit things, basically. So they're very much aware that she is an asset because of her rare power she's got, and even more of an asset if her brother's there with her, but they also very much know now that they can't do anything to her because she's got a lot of information that they need. So basically, she manages to get her brother and these young children out of this camp. This person called Silver, who I don't exactly know what he is supernatural being wise, but they're lovers. So obviously there's some trust there within reason. So he's there helping out, and she was quite shocked that he was there, like he didn't get thing, and they managed to get on a boat. She was very shocked that the boat was still there, but the drill wolves that were there basically knew there was an escape, so they've all turned from their human form to the drill wolves form and chased them. And so basically she got them all to go into safety, and she was going to distract them, which she did. She she did it. She showed her full potential powers wise, including her Thunderbird powers. But then some bitch came and captured her. I need to now yeah, so this bitch basically is called the Hind, and we don't know much about her until we got further into the book, and when we actually realise who she is, it's like, oh damn. Basically the Hind captures Sophia. Sophia won't tell her the truth, and because Sophia, as a human, as like when she was a human, she used to do theatre stuff. She's a very good actress, so she made it very convincing that she knew nothing. And so the Hind threw on these like lead wrist binds things and threw her down right to the bottom of the sea, and basically she's left there to die, which is what we assumed happened. But going into the book, there might be a chance that she's alive, but we'll go into that in a minute. So that's what the prologue is. It's certainly opened up to thinking, okay, this is obviously important. This has obviously got something to do with the book, which there's certain foreboding and hints here suggesting whether, I don't know whether she's good or she's bad, whether she's going to be in Bryce's group or what, I'm not sure, but she's obviously involved. So then we go into actually the story itself. So basically, Bryce and Hunt, they're trying to get over what went on in the spring. So obviously Bryce is trying to get used to being Starborn. She's also now classed as a Fae princess because she's obviously now Fae because of the drop and because she's immortal, but also because she's got the Starborn powers, which is part of the Fae territory. She's technically a decimal more powerful than her real father, which is the Autumn King. So she's now classed as a princess. People know that she's now princess to the Autumn Fae territory, which she doesn't want because she cannot stand her real father. He can't stand her. We're not even going to go into the Autumn King at this particular moment because, my word, that man needs to be killed. We'll get to that in a minute. But basically, she's sort of learning that. She's also learning all the stairs because some people obviously think she's amazing because of what she's done. Some people are in awe because she's now a Starborn princess. She's obviously in the autumn, like the Fae autumn court sort of thing, even though she doesn't want to be. And also the fact that, she's very much, people know Bryce and Hunt are sort of together. Then we've obviously got Hunt, who is dealing with his own trauma. Obviously, he really believed that Bryce was killed, and he did watch her in some sense die, but obviously, he's obviously got his problems. He's like obviously trying to get over the fact that he's no longer a slave, but he's also got his own like sort of mental health problems. Like I think that both these characters have got severe PTSD, it's very clear. So they're sort of trying to live a normal life. They're also being told by the Asteri that they have to lie low. If they don't, the Asteri will kill everyone that is close to them, including like each other. So they're trying to like lay low, don't get in trouble. And with that, basically Bryce made a deal with Hunt that they wouldn't actually get together properly until the winter solstice. She just wants them to get to know each other properly, away from actually getting to know one another when it was to do with finding out the murders. Obviously, they did get very close and intimate, just not sex, but she didn't want to rush into that because that sort of changes things. She wants to get to know him properly, do it normally, no rushing and everything, which, to be fair, is understandable, and it should always be that, in my opinion. You should know the person before you get fully into that, because let's be honest, most men, and sometimes women, the minute you do the deed, they leave because they got what they want, So if you don't give them it, they either stay until they get it, or, yeah, you know what I mean. I've had plenty of men where I've held off, and they've gone running because they didn't like the fact that I didn't. So I understand why she's doing it, and I understand sort of the reason behind it, and it makes sense. But also at the same time, I'm like, come on, you've waited all of the damn book in the first book to now wait in 4 more months before you get there, and it's clear they want to. They're both like horny as anything. So yeah, so that's going on. Obviously Bryce is starting to get close to Rune, which was her cousin in the first book, but then we find out near at the end that he's her brother. So they're sort of forming that relationship now. And then we basically come to a big massive fuck you to the readers moment. So Bryce and Hunt went to watch Juniper do her first solo like ballet performance. Juniper and oh my god, I've forgotten her name. Juniper and Fury are a couple. Absolutely love the lesbian sapphic relationship there. We're here for it. So they're officially a couple. They live together and all of that. They're really cute. They're honestly really cute. And they're all at Rune's party. He said it was just a close friends, but it turned out to be a massive party. But anyway, so they were sort of all enjoying themselves until Hunt gets an email from Isaiah. I think I said that right. Saying that a new archangel basically is taking over Mika, and it's called Celestina. And so he's sort of done a background of who she is, and she sounds really nice. And so Hunt's like, this is too good to be true. Like, surely we're not getting someone who actually is on our side. So he's on edge on there. And then just as that happens, what they assumed was a demon attack happening, because all of a sudden it just went really dark and it looked like a demon, like a hell portal. Turns out it wasn't. Turns out that Rune's cousin, which also happens to be Bryce's cousin, but she didn't know, came. So he's got exact same powers as Rune, probably a lot more powerful possibly, and he basically comes to go and see Bryce because Bryce's real father, the Autumn King, and Cormac, which is the cousin, his father, the King of Avalon or something like Avalon I think, they have made those Bryce and Cormac a betrothal, so they are officially fiancés. And basically the Autumn King basically wants Bryce to marry Cormac because obviously she's the most powerful. He's realised that she's the most powerful in his lineage. He doesn't want that lineage to end, so he's now getting Bryce to get married so she can have babies, so that the lineage carries on. So basically her power will be passed on, and because also Cormac's power would be like, you know, don't we just love that? So firstly, Bryce and Hunt aren't even like properly together. Like obviously they're more than friends, but they're not more than friends in the sense that they have like a full relationship. Like they haven't said they love each other. They haven't got intimate, but there's certainly there's that attraction there that they know they can be more. They're just not. And I'm there thinking the time to probably get together now is right now, because if she flipping has to get married, God forbid, like, ugh. So now that's going on, and you're like, brilliant. So we're all hoping, us readers are really hoping that Hunt and Bryce are going to get together. We're going to get steamy, smutty stuff. And right already, Sarah J. Maas has decided to just break our damn hearts and be like, ha, no guys, not going to happen. You're going to have to wait for it. You might have to wait for it to the last ever book in the series. Yeah, can you tell I'm not impressed? So then there's that, and you're like, oh, fuck me, basically. And then they come back from the party, and Bryce's house has been sort of broken into, not in a bad way, and she finds, oh my god, I've forgotten his name now. Connor's brother, who is the werewolf who was killed in the first book, and Bryce and Connor Connor was in love with Bryce, and Bryce didn't want to be involved purely because of the fact that she didn't want to become a werewolf mate. She didn't like the alpha male sort of thing. But she decided to go on one date, and if that one date, then she sort of, she would accept that relationship. But obviously that date never happened because he got murdered. So Connor's brother, is it I think it's Ethan, I think, or Ethan, I think you pronounce it, Ethan. So for the past 2 years in the first book, he was absolutely horrible to her. Not like as cruel as Sabine and Amelia in the first book, but cruel enough that he didn't stop anything. At the end, he saw what Bryce was doing. He saw that Bryce had Danica as her anchor, and he knew full well of his because he originally was Danica's pack. He knew if they held no grudge and they were there for her, he knew full well that it was not Bryce's fault and all that. So he ends up helping Bryce. His sort of pack that he runs went with him. Sabine did not do anything about it. But anyway, apparently Sabine wrote did an article interview about what went on in the spring, and she basically said that the wolves were the ones who defeated everything and all that, and that Bryce hardly did anything, and that she's just trying to be famous. And Ethan was like, no. And he made his statement saying, do not believe in there. Said that one certain pack leader was nowhere near there, didn't even bother helping. She just sat and watched everything go on. And basically was like, saying Bryce is a badass, all of that. And so Sabine and Amelia and the rest of like Sabine's pack literally butchered him, not to kill him because they knew he wouldn't be worth the paperwork, but butchered him enough that it would take him a while to heal. And so he went to go to Bryce because the wards in Bryce's place, Danica put them on, but Danica put Ethan's blood in there, so he was allowed through. Anyway, yeah, so he's now currently staying at Bryce's house. Obviously, they've now got to that bit where I think like they both have sort of forgiven each other, sort of thing. And then we just get, so the last chapter I just read, we just got that Hunt's just had the meeting with Celestina, and it's sort of like quite too good to be true. And then basically she drops on to say that, hang on, I need to find out what they're called because I can't remember their names, so bear with me. Oh, hang on, this is not a good site, sorry. Yeah, okay, so apparently, so Mika had this person called Sandriel who basically tortured Hunt, and her like beloved was exactly the same. And basically Celestina and whoever Ephraim is, like her brother or something, I'm not 100% sure, they spit Sandriel's Triari, so they've got half of each. And so basically Pollux and Baxian have just turned up, which is the Hammer and a Hellhound, which basically the ones that were tortured and everything, like the angels, especially Hunt. And so basically Hunt's been told he has to work alongside them. So now it's come clear that, like, does she not know how awful they are, or is she just as awful, but instead of showing her true colours, she's put on the mask of being, I'm on your side, I'm good, sort of thing. So we now got that, and we're like, oh my god, does Hunt and Bryce never catch a break? And also along there, we also find out that Rune, I don't know how you pronounce it, I think it's Rune, but Rune, Bryce's brother, he's also betrothed to the Queen of the Witch Coven, which is Hypraxia, which we do meet in the first book. Like, it's not a nasty betrothal. I don't think they're like in love with each other, but they certainly respect each other, sort of thing. I'm not 100% sure that dynamic yet. We don't really go into that, but they're betrothed. But it turns out that Hypraxia, as much as she's a witch, she's also a necromancer. But she has got a half sister who is the Hind, which is where that ties in. So you're like, okay, so the Hind isn't a witch, but she's obviously something. But she's not good compared to Queen Hypraxia. So we've got that. But yeah, but it's the mermaid or merman or the mer, like you called it. He was in the first book. I've forgotten his name. It's Farian. I think that might be it. Farian. They helped out in the first book. But he's been tasked by his queen, I'm guessing, to find Sophia. And he's just found where Sophia was. They found the chains and the holds, but nothing of her. But it's clear that she didn't die. It's more clear that either someone's let her out and has got her, or she's let herself out. So he's been tasked to now go find the brother, because wherever the brother is, she's more than likely near or trying to find him. So basically she wants Sophia and the brother. So it's like, right, why do they want her? So I think it's certainly shown that Sophie is very important and she's very powerful. But yeah, it's very intense. Like, honestly, I feel like I need an alcoholic beverage with this book, and I don't drink. Like, I very often drink. If I have a drink, it's one, and most of the time I'm tipsy after that. But I'm just so stressed. Like, I'm there thinking, can't we, like, whereas in the first book, it got really nice. Then we had the bomb drop of what happened to Danica. Then it sort of got not happy again, but nothing nasty was going on. It was just obviously Bryce with her grief. And then you get obviously her finding the killer, which is very much up for doing. And then you get the sort of like friendship banter, the possible romance of Hunt and Bryce. And then just as she sort of finds some happiness, Hunt goes and tears her heart out. And then she finds out what Hunt did. It wasn't actually as bad as it looked, sort of blah, blah, blah. It was more than lying sort of thing. But then she also lied to him. So pot kettle black sort of thing. And then obviously you have the whole big Mika demon portal, all of that. But I was kind of expecting House of Sky and Breath to sort of be, you know, quite calm and then start getting quite dramatic. We're just dramatic right at the start, and already I'm like, why can't my two favourite characters just get it on? Like, why? Why do we have to really have the slowest slow burn ever? Like, I love a slow burn, but this is slow. And then, just as you think things are getting a little bit better, you're like, oh my god, no. Like, honestly, I want these characters to just catch a break. Like, this is how invested I am. I want them to catch a break. I want them to at least have a few years of happiness before shit hits the pan again. But no, like, I'm tense. Like, I'm really tense and I'm really stressed and I'm already like just waiting for my heart to break. Already, I'm sort of got a bit of a broken heart with the fact that Bryce has to flip and marry this dickhead. And don't get me started on Autumn King. Like, you would think he would start being nice to her because she's a princess, she's a lot more powerful than him and his son, and that, you know, he should probably start being a really good dad and side with her and maybe get her on his side and all that. But no, he decides to, like, I'm just going to betroth my daughter. Doesn't matter that she's in love with someone else, you know, I just want to use her as a breeding stock. Like, no, mate. So yeah, very intense ride, but I'm enjoying it nevertheless. I'm now going to just get cozy on my reading chair, like where I am, snack, because sometimes you just need to binge eat because you're getting stressed, and carry on reading. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to read until I get extremely tired, and then I'll stop, and then I will continue reading tomorrow. But honestly, this book is like, I want to keep reading, but other times I'm like, I don't want to read anymore because I just don't know what to expect, kind of thing. But yeah, it's a really good book, and I can understand why people say that it's an emotional ride, because already 109 pages in, I'm like, oh. Page 129, and Hunt and Bryce are just having like a heart-to-heart, and she went, I'll just do the whole thing. It says, Bryce said, I know Pollux is a monster and you have every reason in the world to want to kill him, but please don't do anything to make the governor punish you. I couldn't, her voice caught. Watching Mika cut off your wings, Sorry, say that again. Watching Micah cut off your wings, I can't see that again, Hunt, or any other horror she might invent for you. Oh. That was a bit... And that was an absolute awful moment. Like, honestly, my heart, I nearly wanted to be sick, to be honest, but... So the word veneer keeps getting mentioned in this book, and I'm like, okay, what is this? Because at first I thought it was just what Sophie and Emil were. Turns out veneer is just another word for supernatural beings. Yeah. Stupid me. I should have googled that earlier on instead of thinking it was just associated with Sophie and Emil. But there you go, we learnt something new. In the prologue, I said that Sophia had help from someone. I couldn't remember who it was. The name just popped up here. It's called Agent Silverbow, and they were lovers. Turns out that Agent Silverbow is Cormac, the fiance of Bryce. What the hell? That was a massive plot twist. Shit. Good morning, my loves. I thought I would pop on and give you a little reading update of House of Sky and Breath. I'm on chapter 20, page 219. Basically, House of Sky and Breath. So I last spoke to you with the big reveal, which was that we found out that Bryce and Rune's cousin Cormac, who is the prince of another Fae court, basically he's also Agent Silverbow, which is who we met in the prologue. He is Sophie's he is Sophie's lover. He's also part of the a Fian rebel sort of thing. Sophie was working for them as an asset, but also she was getting intel to find where her brother Emil is, and also she got intel about the Asteri, and like quite important, I don't know why I keep calling this, quite important information, and she said once her and Emil was safe, she would pass it on. So that's what happened in the prologue, and in the prologue it was clear that Sophie's dead. Now, Varian has been tasked an assignment, he's like now the captain, he's been tasked an assignment by his Queen of the River, because he's a mer, and to find Sophie, dead or alive. So he went down to where she was last seen, and he obviously saw that her lead restraints and everything were all unlocked, but they were unlocked that either she did it or someone did it for her. It's clear that she's not dead there, doesn't mean that she isn't dead. So at the moment, no one can find Sophie, so everyone's sort of now concentrating on finding Emil, because wherever he is, she's more than likely near. But while this is all going on, Varian has sort of looked into Sophie's emails, hacked into them, and found that she was corresponding to someone. He then did loads of checks, found out that this person she was talking to was Danica. Now, obviously, she's dead. I must admit, I'm quite glad that Sarah J. Maas has kept her in the book. Like, as much as she's dead, she's still got quite a bit of the book's attention still, which I'm quite glad at, because, just because someone's dead doesn't mean they can't be mentioned, and she's done it in a very clever way that there's more to Danica than anyone's realised. We've also found out, why I haven't mentioned this, we also found out that she's a bloodhound. So not only is she a wolf, but she's got a special bloodhound, which basically she can smell people's blood, so what kind of royalty and stuff in there are, like who they really are, things like she can probably know their secrets, kind of thing. So when she first met Rune, in the first book in Crescent City 1, she took quite a bit of dislike to Rune, and it was like, why? And it was because she knew that Rune was Bryce's brother, and it was clear something went on, the fact that Bryce said that he was her cousin. So anyway, so she's a bloodhound. It's also very clear that Danica's got other special powers, like she's obviously quite a special werewolf, which is a shame that she's dead. But yeah, so we're finding all this out. Obviously Bryce is very much like, I need to find Emil, I need to find Sophie if possible, because she needs to know what's going on with Danica. Like, I think for her, she's gotten to the point now where she doesn't think she knows who her best friend was. Like, her best friend had a lot of secrets, kept a lot of stuff from Bryce, probably reasons behind it, like protecting her, stuff like that, possibly, more than likely. But it's very clear that she's now like, okay, I do not know who my best friend is, and I hate this. So obviously she's very going into, right, I'm going to do all of this for that. Like, she's not really thinking. Anyway, long story cut short, Adas, who is the Prince of Charms, who's one of the Princes of Hell, who we see in the first book, he's sort of on Bryce's side, but he's got his own agenda. So Bryce has got this very, very, very big power. Like, she's got the horn on her back, she's got the starborn power, she's obviously the princess to the Fae Court, in the Autumn side, and it's very clear that Adas wants her to learn her true powers, because he's basically said that there is the same war that's been going on for years, the same war that Hunt fought and everything. It's happening again, just different players and better stuff, basically. And he's basically turned to Bryce to say, you're our hope, you need to start learning all of your powers and your potential, because you're pretty much the one who can save us, kind of thing. And then at the same time of that big massive hit to her, Adas let Cormac in through the wards, because obviously Bryce has got these wards, only certain people are allowed to go in, and that's when they find out that Cormac is actually Agent Silverbow. So his father just thinks he's doing charity work stuff. He doesn't actually know that what his son's doing, I don't think. And basically he started finding out some intel and knew he needed to go to Crescent City, so he decided to cover his back in the sense of visiting Crescent City. So he said to his father about Bryce, and so Bryce's father, his father, did that betrothal thing, but obviously he doesn't actually want to marry her. So I'm very glad about that, because I was just like, no. Like, honestly, when I read that part, I honestly thought my life was going to end. But no, it's just his his thing that he's supposedly doing, but he's not actually doing, and blah blah blah. Anyway, Bryce has decided to help Cormac and Varian. Hunt doesn't like this, because obviously he was involved in the rebel war. He saw a lot of people die. The person he first fell in love with died. He just doesn't want to repeat that thing. So Hunt's very much like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go again. I do not want to just watch people that I care about get slaughtered.
or worse, he gets slaughtered and never be with Bryce sort of thing. You could see, like, he's certainly, in some sense, he's being selfish, but you can understand, like, he's finally a free man. He's found another love that he thought he never would, and it's potentially now that I'm never going to be with him, but would be with them. But you can understand why Bryce is going head on there. Like, firstly, this is a 13-year-old boy who's been hunted, who, never asked for these powers. Like, I think she sees herself in him because, she too has got these powers that she never asked for, and now she's pretty much the savior of the whole of Crescent City kind of thing, possibly the whole world. Yeah. So she's decided with Cormac that she'll help. He needs to teach her everything about powers because he learned all about Starborn powers, like the sword and everything that Rune has, which technically belongs to Bryce because she's the proper Starborn powers, but she doesn't want to. I think she probably is going to get that sword. I have a feeling that this sword will go to her eventually because I have seen some character art and she has this sword, and I've seen somewhere else too, and it's the sword that Danica had, but also her brother's sword. So I'm guessing she gets that, and I'm also, just by what she said to Ethan, or Ethan, I think you say it, he was playing with the sword that Danica used to have, so I think she's going to probably give that sword to him. Anyway, so she's decided to work with Cormac to learn her powers and all that, and help find Emil and possibly Sophie. They've also decided that they're going to keep up with the montage that they're engaged, but that once, basically Cormac said, once I've got what I want, we'll end it, we'll do a thing, we'll never have to go through like a full marriage and all that. So she's in agreement, and Hunt's quite alright with that. Like, he knows it's not actually real, that hasn't before. I think he was like, so yeah. Obviously Cormac's asked to speak to Cormac's asked to speak to Rune alone, and he's asked Rune to do something else, and Varian and Ivan are sort of doing something different about in regards to finding Emil and hopefully Sophie. So it's sort of like, everyone's got their agendas, and it's sort of like, are they going to be working as a team, or are they actually going to be sort of not working against each other but doing different things? I don't know. Like, at the moment it doesn't sound like everyone is all working together for the same thing. It sounds like everyone's got different agendas, and it's which ones they are at. But it's very clear that there is a war. I have a feeling like they're talking about that there's like a mole who, in, like, I think in the Hysteria world, I'm not 100% sure, but it's called Agent Daylight, and they've been talking to them, like Sophie was talking to them and passing all the stuff, and so that's what Cormac's asked Rune to do, because Rune can mind talk, and it's like a very rare gift, and so Cormac's asked Rune to have this crystal. It's the only last crystal they've had, and he said once you touch it, it will open radio waves to Agent Daylight, but he said that you can actually, once you've got that connection, you can mind talk to her, and like no one will know. Like, it will be a lot easier than trying to try to talk through certain channels. And I'm not 100% sure who Agent Daylight is. Like, I kind of think that Celestina might have something to do with something, because she's been brought in, like, her name keeps getting dumped, and I always find with Sarah J Maas's books, people who've got keep getting mentioned in the books have a big part in something, possibly near the end or not. So I'm like, could she possibly be that? And then also we've got Pollux and Baxian, who's obviously working with the Archangel Celestina, which also means Hunt and the rest of them. But I think it's coming clear that Baxian, there's more to him. Like, obviously Hunt and Baxian had a massive big fight and everything, but I think it's kind of coming clear that even though that Baxian had his own way of being enslaved, because he said to, like, Hunt in one, like, conversation, was like, it wasn't just you who was enslaved, like, you might have had it brutally done, and he goes and says, just because you couldn't see that I was a slave, I was. Like, I had to do things that I didn't agree with. So I'm kind of like thinking, like, he's got some big part of this book, because we keep getting little in bits of him, little bit of conversations, you're sort of getting a bit more in depth of who he is. So I'm wondering whether he could be Agent Daybright, because, he didn't agree with things that happened. He said he didn't agree with what happened in spring, but that he also couldn't do anything without, his life, and I think his people he cared about was on the line too. So I don't know who Daybright is. Like, I have those two in mind. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, it's starting to really pick up. It's starting to getting into a bit where I'm like, oh, okay, like, I know how Sarah J Maas writes. Like, the big action bit is going to be near the end of the book. That's how it always is. You get certain bits that are like foreboding and certain little action bits, but the big massive hoo-ha will be near the end of the book, and I'm expecting that. I just don't know what kind of big hoo-ha this is going to be. Like, is it going to be this wall that's been mentioned? Is it going to be something completely different? Like, could that, like, it might not possibly even be that. It might just be nothing horrendous. Like, I'm not expecting it to be nothing horrendous, because every book I've read by Sarah J Maas, shit goes down and I'm like, so yeah, like, I don't know what to expect, but I'm very like, ooh, and like, now knowing who Cormac really is, I actually quite like him now. I'm thinking, okay, you don't like think, oh, but we just need to. Bryce has finally ended the pact. She's pretty much said to Hunt that she doesn't want to wait anymore, like, you know, with everything that's going on, you know, she wants to enjoy things. So they had a very steamy kiss that could have turned into more, but because she's still playing the role of she is engaged, they obviously can't do anything like that in public, and they were in the public doing that, so they were in like an alleyway, so hopefully no one see. So it's sort of going to be in their own like home, but obviously Ifan is staying there, so yeah. So that pack's gone, so I'm hoping that we will get some steaminess, because those two at the moment are very much just acting weird with one another. They're not like sort of fully talking to each other, and I'm like, oh no, don't put a weirdness between you two, I don't like it. So the pack's no more, so hopefully we're going to get some steam in between all of the other drama going on. Yeah, that's what's going on. I'm going to now go and grab some lunch, because it's now lunchtime, and then once I've ate, I am going to continue reading. I think I'm just going to chill up here, because A, it's really sunny and my room gets the sun the most, and it makes it warm because the rest of the house is freezing, and also it stops me from getting distracted, because as much as I love my parents, sometimes when I'm downstairs they're chatting away or they're talking to me and I don't even hear them because I'm in my own world, and I just like, okay, so if I'm up here I can just concentrate and not get distracted. I need to change my date on here. I got this little cute like date thing, but Alice usually is the one who changes it for me, but because she's not here I have to change it, which is fine, but I keep forgetting, and sometimes I'm doing videos and it's like constantly saying that I'm on like the 23rd of February and I'm not. I've just changed it. Anyway, we're going to grab some food and then we're going to continue on reading, so I'll check in a little bit later. So I've just read chapter 21. It got quite steamy. We're very here for that. But clearly the Prince of Hell, or the Princes of Hell, want Bryce and Hunt. Not in a bad way. Apparently there's going to be a war, like a war's coming from the Northern Rift, and Hunt and Bryce are the only two who can defeat it. Apparently, this Prince of Hell went into like Hunt's, not in Hunt's mind, he put Hunt's sleep state in like a pocket of a different sort of universe sort of thing. That's how I can describe it. But basically he said that Hunt needs to use his powers. So obviously Hunt is the Shadow of Death. He's like the Umbris Mortis, if I pronounce that right. Basically when he fully uses his powers, he is a badass, and a scary badass. Like, he's a scary motherfucker. And it's clear that Bryce's Starborn powers, plus the powers with the horn and everything else, is clear she's very powerful, and apparently these two together, their powers are like conduits, so they're like one another, which makes sense, because whenever Bryce is quite tuned in with Hunt, like before he comes into the room, like she sort of like her star sort of reaches out to him, knows he's there and all of that. So obviously like maybe their powers are sort of similar. I'm not, in some sense, I don't know, but like she knows where he is before he like really shows himself. Like, she's very tuned into him, so that kind of makes sense. But it's really clear that these Princes of Hell want Hunt and Bryce to end this war, use their gifts and all that. And this is now the second Prince of Hell who's turned up and pretty much said, you need to use your powers. Like, they're telling them that they should, you know, rebel and all of this. And it's kind of making you think, right, what is going on? Who's the goodies and who's bad? Because you associate, you know, Princes of Hell, they're demons, you associate them as bad people. But at the moment, the way I'm getting it, like, Adas is certainly not nasty, because he's very much watches out for Bryce in some ways. It's also very clear, I forgot to say, in the first book, Adas and Jezebel, which is who Bryce used to work for, they're very much interlinked together, so there's something about her, and she's currently not involved in this book. She's mentioned, but she's not like involved in forward. So I think there's something about her that is going to be important. Like, because I actually was when I was looking up to see what a veneer was, I can't believe that's just another word for being a supernatural being. Anyway, there was something about the characters, and Jezebel in brackets said formerly, so I think that's like not her real name. So I'm quite yeah. There's certainly breadcrumbs in this, but like you definitely got the sense of foreboding. You definitely know there's some war's going to happen, but it's very much at the moment showing that the Asteri, there's something about them, and that maybe they're not as good as people believe. But I'm there thinking, right, the fact that there's two Princes of Hells and they are telling Hunt and Bryce to A, stick together, B, literally use their powers. They're very powerful, and work like being together will probably make them extra powerful, possibly. It's there thinking, right, they clearly want their help. They're not like, they're not hurting them, not doing anything nasty, so I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I have no idea where this book is going. I have no idea how it's going to end. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying it, but I'm literally like just here thinking, what's gonna happen? Like in Crescent City 1, in House of Earth and Blood, I kind of could see where things were going. I could see that we were going to get the big reveal of who actually killed Danica and things like that, and obviously when it was Mika and what Mika did, like I didn't know exactly what was going on, but I could as I was going into the book, I could see that was what was sort of playing out. Like obviously, I'm not even halfway, like I'm probably like a quarter now or something into the book. I do think probably when I hit halfway, maybe things will probably go in place. At the moment, I just feel like there's lots of breadcrumbs, but I don't know I don't know who's good, I don't know who's bad, I don't know whether like it's just a big trick or what, but it's very clear that Hunt and Bryce need to really go in and use their power, stop being afraid of being badasses and stuff, and I'm kind of there thinking, are the Princes of Hell helping? And if they're helping, then they must be really scared of what's going on, the fact that they are asking for help, possibly. Anyway, continuing on reading. The sun is just like lovely, but it's just getting in my eyes. I need to throw something out here. I could probably be completely off kilter. Oh, I've put my ring. I think I might have left it downstairs. Anyway, I'm probably completely off kilter. I'm probably completely, absolutely wrong. But Agent Daybright, she has long red hair. She's also very bright, like she's a star, the sun kind of thing. Is there a chance that could actually be Bryce? Or like, I just like the description that she's got long red hair like flames, which is Bryce has got long red hair like flames. Her power is a star power, like literally she can shine bright like the sun in some sense. Like, could it be could it be maybe an ancestor, like maybe the first star-born power, because it's been mentioned that there would I don't know, like I could probably be wrong, but could in hindsight this possibly maybe be like Bryce's subconscious, like when she's asleep? I'm probably completely wrong. It just seems too like Bryce has long red hair like flames. She's got a power that's extremely bright. This Daybright's nickname is because she's really bright. She's got long red hair. Like, it must be some ancestor then, possibly, if it's definitely not Bryce. But, like, Sarah J. Maas does, like, do twists like that. Like, you're like, oh, okay. Like, with Throne of Glass. Selena Sardofian didn't have a clue who she was, and then you get to the point, you're like, holy shit, she's Eileen. And you're like, there's, like, another world there. Like, oh. Like, this is just me sounding off. I could probably be completely wrong. Like, there's no way Bryce is the way she is and then do that. Like, unless she's doing it subconsciously when she's asleep and that happens, that's like another part of her power that she doesn't have a clue of. Like, it makes sense that maybe he's an ancestor. I don't know, it just seems peculiar that it's a really bright, like a star, like the sun's power, and she's got flame red hair just like Bryce. Anyway, also, just going on while I'm chatting, Bryce and Hunt, cutie patootie, like they haven't had sex because they're always in the room with other people and they don't want to do that, but they've done other things basically. But Bryce, in the middle of Hunt going down on her, basically, she said, "I love you," and he didn't reply right then. He did it afterwards, but it was a
basically she was like, you know, what do we call each other? Like, boyfriend seems too young for him because obviously he's 200 years old. You know, lover's not right because they're more than that. Partner, like, you know, that just makes them like work partner sort of thing. And Bryce said, well, in Faye terms, it's mate, you know. That, but like that, it's like a big, it's pretty much a commitment. It's a betrothal. It's like it's a forever done deal, and it's not something to be light-hearted. And anyway, Hunt was just like, that's the best name anyone could give me. So they pretty much have accepted it. That's what they're going to be called once, you know, the whole Cormac fake engagement ruse ends. But they're also wondering whether that potentially they are mates anyway before they even admitted it. They've always been drawn to one another, like their powers sort of are drawn to one another as well. And like on top of that, they're very much like they have like such an intense relationship from the start. And I must admit, when I read Crescent City 1, I was like, could they possibly be mates? Knowing what Sarah J. Maas writes, every book she's written, you have a mate. There's a mate. Like, come on. Farron, Rysand, they're mates. Eileen and Rowan, they're mates. It would make sense that Bryce and Hunt are mates. That they don't have to be, you know, Faye and Faye, really. Surely there isn't, like... I don't know, like, could they? Like, it would make sense that if they had sex, it would make sense, because that would, if there was a mating bond, that would click. Like, could they be mates? So honestly, if that happens in this book, I would be jumping up from joy right now. But they just said, I love you. They've obviously said that they're going to call each other mates, which is a big deal. And it was just so sweet, and it made me emotional. Like, I wanted to cry. Like, it didn't get to the point of blubbing my eyes out, but I could feel myself going. But like, this little bit's just really cute, and it's literally just before they go and see the King of the Underworld. So it's like, get the cute bit out before shit hits the pan. But yeah, it's just, I needed that. That was just a oh, and I think it helped because they were in this sort of weird bit between one another as well. I think now they know where they are. They made a joke that they're going to go and find a hotel room the following day. So, you know, if they get the actual consummating moment, that would be like, finally. But yeah, thought I'd just give you that update.
Oh. What? Oh. Oh shit. Shit. No. Oh, I don't want to carry on reading. Shit's going down. I don't like it. It's too intense.
We have officially hit the halfway mark. It feels like I've taken forever doing this, guys. Oh my god. Bryce and Hunt are true mates. They are true mates. Like, the worst moment for them to realise, well, Bryce to realise that. I don't even think Hunt's realised that quite yet. He's gone on full-on ballistic alcohol right now, like Bryce likes to call him. But they're true mates. I hope this was going to happen. We always have mates in Sarah J. Maas's books. That's like the obvious thing about her half the time. Ooh, that's just like best news ever. And honestly, if anything happens to Hunt and Bryce, well, all of them, to be honest, I'm not so bothered by Cormac, but Hunt, Bryce, Rune, Ifan. This is really good news, but now it's like, if anything happens to them, no. But they're mates! Yay! I had an inkling, but actually having said that they died, Sophie's dead, I'm officially stopping here. I'm on chapter 55, page 602. Shit's just gone down, and I'm going to leave it like that because I know if I continue reading, I'm going to stay up until it's really late. But I literally have that much, so I've got 200 pages because this is 805 pages. But then obviously there's that added chapter bonus bit on, but I'm going to call it quits tonight. I have a bit of a tummy ache, so
I think I'm going to take some proofing. Put my pyjamas on, take my makeup off. I am going to watch some booktube and then probably have an early night. But yeah, shit's going down. I'm not going to give you my thoughts on this because I'm going to give you my last thoughts from what went on at the end. I'm going to try and tape my like initial reactions, but I don't know how, because obviously it's different when you read it second time round. You know when certain bits are, but first time round you never know, and there's no way I can keep my phone on for like so many hours taping this, and it's just not going to work. So I'm going to try my hardest to do reactions, but yeah, shit's going down now, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pause it there. But it's getting very good, very good. And also, the Autumn King, he kind of dropped like a bomb on Bryce, and I'm there thinking, is there more to him, or is he just an asshole? Like, I don't know. He said something to Bryce, and I'm there thinking, I don't know. He said something, and I'm there thinking, is there more to him than we let on? I don't know, but yeah, stuff's going down. But yeah, I'm gonna call it quits. You know, I'm feeling a little bit rough anyway, so I'm just gonna chill now and have an early night and then continue reading this in the morning. I don't know what time Alice is coming home. I did ask Dad. He never replied, hoping he might reply later, but we'll see. If not, I'll pester him in the morning and say, you know, can you give me an answer just so I can roughly know? But yeah, I will catch up with you all tomorrow. Final thoughts, wrap up the video, possibly my reactions if I can film it. But yeah, I'm going to bid you good night and I'll check in tomorrow. Holy shit, the Asteri's here. So it's Celestina and I can never say this. Ephraim, I think. Probably completely wrong. That's how I'm going. It's their union, so it's like their marriage, their main stupid controlling crapping thing in my opinion. Moving on from that. Basically they have a parting because they're doing their union, so they're like now married, they're now like mated, that stuff, but they don't love each other. Anyway, moving on from that problematic thing, their special guest is the Asteri, and the Asteri don't like Bryson Hunt, and I honestly think shit. I have this much left to read, and I'm tensed because I'm there thinking shit just happened with one of the really well, kind of, I can't remember what it's called now, even though I just read it. This really badass demon that the Prince of Pit put out. Like, I don't know. Like, it's clear that Hell want to fight Bryce because it's clear that like they've got quite a good opponent to fight, and they want to win. I think they want to get the Horn and her power. If I'm going to be totally honest, I don't fully know the whole of the story. Like, there's so much going on. Like, when I reread this, I probably will understand a bit more. But the Hysteria have just turned up, and I'm there thinking, right, shit must be going down in a minute. This shit must be going down because we have got... Shit must be going down. Like, I have got this much left, and something has to happen. Stuff like this happens. She leaves to the... I don't want to... Guys... I don't want it to end, but I don't want to read anymore because I don't want my heart to break. Honestly, if anything happens to Bryson, no, not just Bryson Hunt, if anything happens to the characters that I absolutely love and adore and would happily marry all of them, girls included, and Mers, I'm just like, please don't kill any more people. Like, she did that with Anika and the Pack of Devils. I don't need any more heartbreak. Like, Liba, whatever you pronounce it. Like, she... Ooh, I know it's a book, but I'm getting intense. I'm getting heart palpitations. I'm getting sweaty. I'm getting a bit like something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. I don't know what, but something's gonna happen. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. What is it with certain men, not all, but certain men, who think they're bloody God's gift and they can tell women to do whatever the hell they want? Like, ugh. Honestly, there is some narcissistic, controlling fucking men out there, and I hate reading it in a book too because it's not a trigger, but I've been involved in not very nice relationships, and so when I read crappy things like this, it just makes me want to scream because there's some arseholes out there. Anyway, some shit's going down. Basically, one of the princes of hell, I'm not actually 100% sure how that works. One of the princes of hell pretty much did a game changer, saying that apparently the Fae were working with the demons, and that they were actually trying to defeat this particular war that happened like years ago. But the Underking, who's obviously the king of all of hell, has different matters. But basically, Hypaxia, who is a witch, but she's also got different powers where she's a necromancer. Basically, Ivan wants to know if he can contact Connor and try and get Connor to not become Second Knight, because it's become clear that when you die, hell turns them into something and they absorb their power, sort of thing. Like, they don't move on and all of that thing. They just exist to nothing, kind of thing. So Hypaxia did necromancy to try and speak to Connor, but it wasn't Connor, it was the Underking himself, and he like trapped them in something, and they finally got out. But basically, he told Ivan and Hypaxia to send a message to Bryce to say that she needs to meet him at Erd's temple within the hour. If she doesn't turn up, he will throw Connor and the rest of the pack of devils through the gate, and he'll make Second Light out of them. I don't really know what Second Light means. So that's going down. Like, I'm waiting for this big massive fight war thing going on, and I'm there thinking, like, is this gonna be right at the end and there's gonna be such a flipping cliffhanger that I'm gonna scream? Because that has happened in Throne of Glass. We've had, like, I've read like Throne of Glass, and you know there's gonna be a war, and then the last couple of chapters is a massive war, and it leaves you on a massive cliffhanger that I'm just there thinking, lucky enough I have the whole series so I can like continue, but I haven't actually finished that series. I really want to finish that series. Like, I'm kind of feeling like I want to give up everything and just finish that series. Anyway, yeah, that's what's going on. I'm getting stressed. I need to film my reactions because she just went like a big massive twist just came, and I should have filmed it. But I'm on page 696. Shit went down. I'll explain it in like the end of this video. Shit went down, and Baxian went to help them, and he keeps sort of helping Bryce and Hunt, and she doesn't understand. Basically, Bryce pulled a gun at his head and said, "You need to tell me why you keep popping up." And he just said, "Through love, all is possible." And there is a tattoo, and it says, "Through love, all is possible." He's got a tattoo on her, and she goes, "Why do you have Danika's handwriting tattooed on you?" And he just wrote, "Because Danika was my mate." What the hell? I did not see that shit coming at all. Like, why? Like, why does Danika keep things? Like, I love her to pieces. I loved her in the first book, even though she wasn't obviously in it, you know, because she got completely murdered. But it just seems like no one knows her. Like, she's just hidden so much. How would she not tell Bryce that she has a mate? And Baxian, like, Jesus Christ, I wasn't expecting that. Holy crap. I'm going to continue reading, and I think I'm going to start actually filming me now, because I honestly think a lot's going to, like, be revealed in a second. So, yeah, editing me's going to hate that, but we'll work with it. It's just come clear that Sabine, who is now the pack leader of the wolves, she's not the only Fender heir. So when Sabine goes, it would have gone to Danika, but she's dead. So it's technically now just Sabine. Turns out, no, there's another one. And that particular wolf is the Mystic, which they've met, and Ivan, not 100% sure whether whether they're like going to be mates, because there was something there. Anyway, so it's clear, it's just said here, Sabine has been trying to scare Bryce away before she finds a true alternative to Sabine, which is like, you know, there's another Fender here, she can actually take over Sabine, and Sabine would kill them all to prevent that happening. What? It's just dropping now. No.
Agent Daybright is the Hind, who Rune just shagged in their like dreamscape thing. The Hind is Day. What the hell? That can't be right, surely. Ooh. See you next Tuesday's just been put in here. Sarah J. Maas went all out. Blimey. Ah! The Hind is Day. No. No. We all believed that the Hind was badass. She's been helping since day one. Oh, fuck off. Guys, I don't like this. Oh, bloody hell, I didn't even click. Shit. So the Hind and Pollux are like lovers. Oh my god, everything that we believed with the Hind is complete crap. And she's obviously, oh no, like that. No, I can't believe she's good. Like, since day one, we've known she's been horrible. Like, her and Pollux is like the terrible twosome. They are awful, and she's been good all along. Oh crap, that's just really hard to deal with. Oof. Oof. Oh, it's getting. Oh no, I don't need to know that. That's a bit graphic. The Hind just decapitated the harpy. Oh, gross. Shit, are they gonna bring Akatar involved? No. Is this gonna actually properly go into that? Fuck off, is it? No. No! Fucking hell. She's in Prithian. She's in she's in the Night Court. No, seriously. It's Rysand! No! No! Fucking way! She's in the night court! She is in the night court. I need to process. Hi, my loves. So, we've officially finished House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I have taken a good half an hour just to have some lunch and to gather my thoughts, even though my thoughts are all over the place still. But my word, was this a fantastic ride. Like, honestly, I loved Crescent City 1. That was brutal, heartbreaking, amazing, intense. And I was a little bit apprehensive of how this was going to turn out. Like, would this be even better? Would it lack? You know, all of those questions that you get sometimes with series, because you're sort of like, if the first book started off with a bang, sometimes it makes the second book have more pressure. Honestly, this book, amazing. Like, it was completely different to the first book, but you've still got that intense ride. You still have absolutely no idea what the fuck is going to happen. Like, I don't know. I haven't watched anyone do any video reviews of this, as I wanted to read it first before I saw their thoughts. So some people may have predicted things or not, but for me, I never know where Sarah J. Maas takes you. I have no inkling until she decides to tell you the reveal. Like, this book had so many twists and turns and so many reveals, and every reveal, my jaw dropped, thinking, what? An amount of, like, my inner dialogue in my head was, oh my god, what the fuck? All of that kind of scenarios. This book is amazing. Like, it's even better than the first book, and the first book is high on brilliant. Like, I think Sarah J. Maas delivered in this book. She went all out. We know this is an adult book. You know, we've got full-blown swearing. It's very graphic in terms of gore and sex. It's steamy as anything. It's not just character-driven, but you've got a massive big plot-driven in here as well. You've got a huge big fantasy supernatural world in here. And I did not know where this book was going to take me. I knew this book was going to have me on edge. I knew this book was going to give a full-blown sense of foreboding. You know shit's going to happen, you just don't know when. And there's little bits of stuff that's happened, like, you know, a few fights here and there, a few, like, monsters dropping in and trying to kill them all. But you know that's not it. You know something's going to happen. And to be fair, if we really go into the, like, sense of foreboding and the sense of what it led up to, it was nothing like the first book. The first book, we had a massive big attack from the demons. We believe it's Mika that was dealing with it. Like, you know, it was just his plot, but actually there's a massive bigger scenario to that, which I'll get to in a moment. So when you look at that compared to what went on in here in the ending, you haven't had that badass fight so much. It is more the massive big secrets being revealed. All of the key players have come out. It's very clear that all the people you thought were bad, actually, majority of them are actually like rebels, or they're on the good side. They're just, you know, they're like undercover sort of thing. And basically everything we've known to be this is bad, like, you know, Bryce's world, what they've known as bad, they're now thinking, actually no, these are the good guys. For example, Bryce actually needs to go to hell to see the princes to get them to fight with her, which they kept saying to them that we will fight with you, and she didn't believe them. She thought it was all a farce and all that, but it was very clear that actually no, they were telling the truth. They were subtly telling her that everything you believe is wrong, which is exactly the case. Like, don't even get me started on there. So in regards to all of that world building and all of that, brilliant. In regards to like the fight bits, you know, it wasn't as, I would say, spectacular as it was in the first book, but it was still done in the sense that, you know, like there's a bigger picture now. Like, we know the key players, we know the secret now, we know there's more to meets the eye, and well, I mean, like, Akatar is officially in this book, which I'll get into as well. Like, yeah, yeah. So what I love about this book is how Sarah J. Maas sort of makes your heart break, and then it's like, haha, I'm just kidding. My point being with Cormac. You know, Cormac turns up and he's betrothed to Bryce, and, you know, like you saw in my B-roll, I was like, what the hell, no, don't do this, mate. Like, you know, Bryce and Hunt, they're finally, like, acknowledging one another, and we know what's going on with them, and then that hit the fan. But then it was, it left us with that heartbreak, that whirlwind of no, don't do this to us. And a few chapters in, about 70, 100 pages into the book, you then have that realization that actually Morak, that was wrong, Cormac is he's actually a rebel agent, a rebel spy, but he's actually not he's a rebel, he's pretending to be a rebel spy, but there's more to that actually. He's actually a rogue person, and that the reason why he did the betrothal sort of thing is for a reason for him to go to Crescent City, to go and see Bryce, to get her to help him with all of these things. To be fair, Farian is the one who started all this crap up. He was the one who got tasked to find Sophia, and he brought his friends along, and that's why all this has gone on. And Farian just dealt it with himself. These characters might have had a bit of a break, but hey ho. So we have that, and then we have moments like with Baxian. You sort of don't know what's going on with like all of a sudden he's there being nice, all of a sudden he's there sort of trying to help Hunt in some ways, and you like throughout this book I was like, right, there's something going on. Like, is he actually good? Is he is he just mind fucking them and all that? And then right near the end of this book it's revealed that actually he was Danika's mate, that they were in love and everything. And from meeting Danika and all that, that's when his humanity came, and so he was like, nope. He found out the truth, which I'll get to in a minute. He found out the truth, and that just changed the whole shit for him. And so he sort of pretended to be bad, but actually he's trying to get this big secret out without it, they want this secret to come out where people believe them, and it's not yeah whatever sort of thing. So that was a massive big what the hell. The same with this wolf. So there's this mystic wolf who's been slated to the astronomer, and Ivan he's drawn to her for some reason. He finds out she's an alpha wolf. She clearly shouldn't be slaved. I think I can now see why she probably was put in slavery, whether this has got to do with Sabine. But it turns out that this wolf is actually a Fender hare, so she's part of the heir of being the alphas of this wolf pack. So Sabine's currently is. Danika should have been the alpha wolf to the pack of devils, but yeah. So this wolf is actually, she could completely take Sabine off the line, the whole hierarchy of being the prime and everything like that. So Ivan's very so that was oh my god. And Danika, I think, possibly started figuring that out, and it's the reason why Sabine doesn't want Bryce anywhere near the wolf pack, because the minute Bryce finds out, Bryce would literally make sure this wolf takes over Sabine's role. So that was that. We've also then got the reveal of who Daybright is. Well, actually, we'll go into Celestina. I think she's dodgy. I thought she was dodgy through the book. She just seemed too good to be true, and I think Hunt believed that as well. And there's sort of been suspicions in here that maybe, I don't think maybe she knows the truth, but I think she's helping them out, thinking she's doing the better of good, but actually she's been played. That's how I'm sort of seeing it as. It could be that actually no, she knows everything's going on and is helping them. I'm not 100% sure, but it turns out that she's actually having an affair with Hypaxia, which is the Queen of the Witches, who is also betrothed to Rune. So that was ooh, okay. We then have the flippin' massive reveal, which I think was one of the biggest reveals for me, was with Daybright, Agent Daybright, who she was. I'm not 100% sure if Cormac knew who Agent Daybright was, properly or not. By the sounds of it, I don't think he did. I think, yeah, but the fact that Agent Daybright is the Hind, I think that's one of the things that blew my mind, because we believe from the get-go in the first book, she is cruel, she's absolutely got no humanity, she does not care who she kills. Her and Pollux together is just a force to be reckoned with, that they are horrible, monstrous people. And we've now just been shown that actually she is part of the rebel spies, that she's actually working her way to get this massive big secret out and to protect, pretty much the Crescent City and all of the worlds. And I can't believe that. Like, she's in the end, it turns out, like, you know, she's actually a slave. You know, Pollux is hurts her, like, that's not love and all that. Like, she's playing a game of, and when you look at it, the amount of crap that's gone on with her, she must have one strong mind and very good at lying. But that big reveal, like, it's really hard to compare. Like, even the characters here, like Hunt in particular, was like, no, she's just playing us. She's just, you know, making us think she's on our side and all that. Like, even he's struggling to comprehend that, because she's so cruel, she's so horrible, and it's now turning out that actually no, she's been doing her hardest to try and get the secret out, to try and protect the world and all that. And I'm just like, holy crap, I did not see that. Like, I honestly, like I said, I thought it was Bryce at one point, which would have been completely gross, the fact that Rune and Day like snogged and even went further than that. So that went out the window. And then I thought it might have been Celestina, possibly, like maybe it was her, just because, like, you know, her name, she was brought in, she's an important character in the book, so it was like maybe that. And then, like, I was just like, maybe not that. Like, it got to the point where I had no clue, and then it was revealed, and I was just like, no, like, I wouldn't have ever guessed that at all. And then we have the ending bit. So basically, in the first book, Danika's been very, like, actually, let's go into this bit. I love the fact in this book, Danica is still a big part of this book. You know, she got murdered in the first book. You would have thought that was it. But no, she had a massive, big, important part in the first book. She still has in this book, even though she's dead, which I love. I love the fact that Sarah J. Maas done that. She still included this really big, massive character in this book, even though she's not alive. And I hope that continues. It's very clear that Danica has had all of these hidden secrets. The fact that she was mated to Baxian, who is, you know, quite a nasty angel. Like, you know, a lot of people say he's horrible and all that, but it was obviously clear there was more to that than thing. You know, she found out what was going on with the Asteri and the true what's going on, and, you know, she didn't even tell Bryce or anything, because she had to make sure that before anything got shared that this was all correct. You know, she was the one, she was an informant with Sophie and got Sophie to do what she did and all that. She's a bloodhound, hence why she's got very big powers and she can tell all these truth and all that. So it turns out one thing that, which I kind of gathered, that there are two types of fae. There's Bryce's fae, and then there's the other fae, which is the werewolves. The wolves are actually fae, but like shape-shifting sort of fae, but the Asteri in time sort of got rid of the magic in the sense that they had pointed ears and all that, so they put up the spiel to say that they were both enemies. That's why fae and wolves don't really like each other. But it's actually clear that they actually are fae. They're a different type of fae, but they're still part of the thing. It also is clear, like, so we believe that, so we found out that hell, when people die, they've been, instead of letting them go into, like, the afterlife, they've been sort of taking them and then making them into a second light. And obviously, like, Danica and the pack of wolves, Connor in particular, they were like, oh my god, is that saying that they have no, like, afterlife? That, you know, they haven't moved on and not in some nice thing. But we've actually found out why hell is doing that, and why hell has kept that secret and making people believe. But so basically, the Asteri have been stealing everyone's magic and everything. So, you know, the drop, everyone puts a little bit of their magic into drop, is why Bryce got all these powers, because she absorbed it all in. But apparently, all this, when people drop, they steal their souls. When all of the fae, all the supernatural beings die, they steal all of their power and all of that. Oh, it's really complicated to explain. But basically, everything that everyone's believed is a complete farce. The Asteri are actually complete arseholes. They're baddies, like big baddies. You know, like everyone believes that they're like god sort of thing. And yeah, so hell have been doing what they've done to stop the Asteri getting powerful. Because Asteris believe that they've got these like stars, that they're from stars or something like that. Like they're like really, really powerful. Actually, not. They're not powerful at all. They've been stealing people's powers when they died. They've also actually herded. So there are all different courts, which leads me to Akhtar and Throne of Glass and everything in a minute. So there's all different courts, all different areas, and half of them have been completely vanquished. A lot of them have been herded into Crescent City to believe that this is a good place, that they'll be safe. But it's actually a spiel, because the Asteri are actually controlling them and all of that, blah, blah, blah. which then obviously leads to Bryce finds out the truth, but she also found out the truth of how to beat the Asteri. And basically Hunt and Rune realised that, so they did this whole spiel, and so she basically managed to run away. But what she's found out is basically that she needs to go to Hell, round up all the princes of Hell, and for them to actually work together to defeat the Asteri and all of that. But obviously everyone, apart from this little gang now, everyone believes that Hell, they're like baddies and all that, but actually no, the reason why because there was a big war between like Hell and the rest of the supernatural beings, but it wasn't. It was Asteri killed a particular Fae and blamed it on the Princes of Hell, which is why that happened. But actually, Fae and the demons actually were working together to defeat Asteri, but they got double questioned and all that. So she's obviously realized she's gone to the porter into the gate, thinking she's gone to Hell, but Bryce didn't go to Hell. She's gone to a different place. So she's gone to Prythian, and she's currently now in Night Court, which kind of makes sense because if you think about it, the Night Court is no one knows about that place. How Rysand and all that, like it's his pits, which in some sense when you look at it, it looks like Hell. So she's currently now residing in Night Court, and I didn't know. It was only until I saw Becca's video over at Becca and Her Books on BookTube. She did a massive big video all about Sarah J Maas and how all her books are like a multiverse, very much like the Marvel series, where all of the Marvel films, they're all interlinked to one another, and that's what Sarah J Maas has done with her books. And I did not know that. Like, Becca is definitely the queen of super fans of Sarah J Maas, in my opinion, because I did not know that. Like, I have read her books, I've loved her books. I did not know that all her books were all interlinked, including Crescent City. It was only after I watched that video I was just like, which has made me like, I am currently rereading ACOTAR and I need to finish off Throne of Glass. But I definitely think next time I reread the whole of these books, it's going to be one of those ones where I am going to literally dissect everything and put everything that's interlinked. But she obviously saw all these links. I didn't until I watched the video, and definitely when I read the books again, I will certainly now go back to that video and also pick up all those hints. But the hint is certainly here now because she's in the Night Court, and it's Farah and Rysand. They're certainly together. It's certainly clear that I think Nesta and Cassian were there. So, yeah, so she's gone there. Like, obviously, they're in a different world. They've got the old language, which she doesn't know. So I am literally left with this massive cliffhanger of, Rune and Hunt has been captured. They're in the dungeons with Pollux and Regis, which is the Asteri, and Regis has put the slave mark back on Hunt. So we've got that shit all going on. But I know that sounds really wrong, but I'm kind of like ignored that now because I'm like, no, Bryce is in the Night Court. Like, if you like, is this going to be that these, Throne of Glass, all the characters now, all the courts there, ACOTAR, does this mean that they're all going to be interlinked? And like, the third book, I still can't get over that. I did not see that coming at all. And then when it said that she went to, like, it described the grass and the moon and all that, and I went, this sounds like Prythian, and I went, this sounds like Night Court, and I went, no, and then it started clicking before it, and I was like, oh, yeah. Side note, Cormac's dead. Do I care about that? Is it bad to say no? I didn't care for his character. It was very much, he was a rogue agent. He was doing what he wanted, and it was very clear as well that he would have happily double-crossed Bryce and Rune and all of them lot if he needed to. So I didn't care for him, and when he got killed, I was just like, I'm not heartbroken by that, but yeah, an amazing book. Did not see any of that coming. 5-star read. I've got 2 more books to finish today, and I feel like I know, like I was like at the Crescent City one, I'm going to have a book hangover. I don't think any book is now going to match to this absolute amazing story and piece of writing. Like, Sarah J Maas, in my opinion, just gets better and better and better. Like, I love ACOTAR. The books that I've read in Throne of Glass, I love them, but I will be completely honest, I think Crescent City is her best work yet. This is her best work yet, and I want book 3 now because I can't deal with the fact that the Night Court was actually in here. Like, that's actually happening. It's no little hints. It's there. But yeah, I know this is a very long vlog, and I am so sorry it is, but I think you can understand this deserves a long vlog. If you've got this far, please give me a crescent moon in the video, in the comments. Actually, no, do a crescent moon and a star, so it's all interlinked. Put that in the comments. But thank you for joining me in this one wild ride, and I will see you all again soon, and I promise you the next vlog will not be as long as this. But thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye.